Yeah, so that's a trend that's happened over the last decade. If you look at the number of teams that were going away 10 years ago versus how many are going away now, I think it's less than 15, it might be less than 10 teams in the NFL who go away. A couple factors playing for us. Number one, Andy Reid. He likes being away for this time, the camaraderie. Brett Veach, our general manager, also thinks it's an advantage to get the guys away. You eat together, you sleep together, you play together, you practice together, you meet together, you're around each other a lot more, especially as you get into the season with new guys coming in. It's a great introduction to our culture as a team and as an organization. Coach specifically, and he has mentioned it, I know he'll mention it again, and we see it. Our players feed off the energy. It's a little different when you're practicing in front of fans than you are just grinding, especially when you get to the second half of that camp. So we think that's a big advantage. The other point I'd make is that not every situation is like this, that is so efficient, that has the advantages that it has. And we talked about the partnerships, but they all matter, right? To have Mosaic so close, to have the university be as responsive as they are, and to be in it 10 years, there's a comfort level here. So we feel good about what we do. Other teams like what they do. We've obviously looked at all the options, and we've looked at moving it back to our facility, which we could do, and we'll investigate that as we go forward. But we really like it, and I think this trend, while we're probably out of the norm, out of the majority, we really like what we do.
Mark, do you foresee a multi-year deal with Missouri Western?
Yeah, so as I said, we've had a great relationship here. It's been 10 years. You guys ask the question every year, so I think everybody knows that this is the last year of our requirement to be in the state of Missouri and to be at St. Joe. We'll do what we always do, which is we'll get through this camp. At the end of the camp, we'll sit down with Josh, Dr. Wilson, talk about what went well, what went wrong for both sides, and figure out what we do going forward. We've had a great relationship. We expect a great relationship going forward. Just manage expectations. As we have grown, there have been more and more interest from other venues. Some of them are not realistic, but know that we really enjoy St. Joe. There's a lot of efficiency here. There's a lot of comfort here. So we look forward to that conversation.
Mark, talk about fans. Is it important for them to come out here?
Yeah, it's really important for them to come out here. I think for our fans, the opportunity to see our players up close and personal, to see them in the grind, but to see them in a format, in a situation where they're not going to see this anywhere else. It's unique, and it's a great opportunity. It's been something that I know our fans give us a lot of feedback every year that they really enjoy. You wouldn't believe how many people ask me if I'm flipping pancakes on Sunday morning, which we do on an annual basis, so it matters to them. It's also, for our fans, a way for us to deliver even more value to our season ticket members. So we do things special for our season ticket members that creates that value. So we look at that opportunity. I'll give a speech tonight to our team, and I will make the point that every single point of contact is an opportunity. So you may think you're an unsigned rookie who's not going to make the team, or you may think you're the biggest free agent that's signed in the NFL. When that little fan comes up to you and asks for an autograph, that's an opportunity. And we see it. Like, it resonates. And if you look at the research, the average fan becomes a fan before the age of 12. And once they're a fan, they stay a fan with that team. 98% of them do. So the opportunity to create that bond, and that player, whoever it is, can create that bond. So that's an opportunity for us.
Couple more on camp.
We're asking, I think it was this occasion a year ago, we asked you about what you might anticipate the Patrick Mahomes effect to be, and we were just uncertain, right? A year later.
Yeah, it's been real. When you look at what Patrick did on the field, first and foremost, and then, Blair, I say this all the time, but it's more than Patrick, right? At every level. So Patrick can't have his success and be as popular as he is without all the surrounding parts. Coaches, players, teams, performances. And Patrick understands that. I think specific to your question, you look at the impact he's had on our business, it's the same. It's multi-layered. So Patrick specifically has benefited a lot. He's benefited us in terms of a lot of our big partners are partners with Patrick as well. It's a great activation point. But that's creating other opportunities for other players. And I think you're going to see that as we continue to go here. Yeah, huge year for us as an organization to have both of them go in. Both really, really deserve to be there. Happy for both to be there. Really happy for Johnny to get in. It's been overdue. Tony, obviously, a guy who I think we all knew was getting in and deserves to get in. Every year that we have a chief going in, it's an opportunity to just take a step back and look at this franchise and what we've done and the special players who've been part of the franchise. And there'll be some really, really cool celebrations in Canton around that. We'll celebrate it throughout the year. I would tell you that the Johnny celebration is going to be a little different than the Tony celebration, but they're both going to be fun.
Is that because of the combination of original chief and all that, or is there any dissonance at all about Tony talking about how Atlanta made his
Not at all.
career?
Not at all. You know, Tony played for a couple teams. We think Tony's a chief. We'll always think he's a chief. We have a great relationship with Tony. I think one of the things that gets lost in this, you know, if you're a player and you played for a bunch of teams, you're in a tough spot, right? I mean, you got to take care of all the fans. So Tony's the chief, and we appreciate what he did for us as an organization.
Mark, you mentioned other venues contacting you guys about training camp.
Yeah.
What goes into those conversations to determine whether you want to stay or go somewhere else? What are some of those factors that will be brought up?
Yeah, so a lot of factors go into it. I mentioned when I answered the question about why we do this. That matters to us. So somebody would have to create a similar environment that allows that to build. They're out there and they've expressed interest. We'll see. It's part of my job to take all the information in, do the due diligence, make the best decision for the organization. My dad was a really big boxing fan, and he always used to tell me that you got to beat the champ, you can't tie the champ. So I think somebody's going to come in here and overwhelm us to take it away from St. Joe. We've had a great relationship here, but those things happen in business, so we'll see what happens. I know it's the biggest question of the day because we're here. I would tell you our relationship with St. Joe and with Missouri Western specifically is really good, and we've had our stumbles, we've had our obstacles we had to come over, and we just find ways. So that's what we'll do with this. We'll just take a step back after the camp, we'll sit down, we'll talk about what's out there, we'll talk about what they want to do, and then we'll make a decision.
Mark, can you also just sum up sort of the state of the union, your view of the way the Tyreek Hill situation unfolded and what your message might be to fans who are perhaps conflicted about it?
Yeah, I'm going to stand on the statement that we made when the league made their decision. I'm not going to really add to that. I've said off the record and on the record that our organization takes every situation the same way. We're going to gather the best information we possibly can. We're going to evaluate that information, and we're going to wait till we have all the right information, as good as we can get, and then we're going to make the right decision for this organization. And I'm proud of the fact that we continue to do that, and our fans should know that that's the process we go through, and that's the process we'll continue to go through.
Mark, with training camp potentially moving, is the idea for the franchise to keep it in the state of Missouri, or is there even potential for it to leave Missouri if overwhelmed?
Yeah, it's hard to answer that question because I can't tell you everybody who's bidding on it or wants to bid on it right now, so I don't want to sit here and say, you know, that's a really important point, and then somebody comes from a different state and blow us away with an offer, and then we say, well, we went there, and then have people in this group criticize me for saying something before.
But it is an option to be elsewhere if possible.
Yeah, the deal that we did with the state and the deal that we did with Missouri Western was 5 plus 5, but 10 years of in the state. And we felt that was important when we did the deal. Missouri's a very, very big part of the Kansas City Chiefs, and that will factor into our decision. But the kingdom's large, and there are opportunities out there that we haven't even uncovered yet. So it's a little premature to say we're going one way or the other. We're here in St. Joe. We're going to have a great camp in St. Joe. We're excited about St. Joe.
All right, guys, thank you.